Welcome to the Big Word with Ngullie, ladies and gentlemen. Besides bringing to you state, regional and international news events, Hornbill TV has been engaging in socially relevant conversations that resonate with the sentiments and moods of the citizenry. The idea is not to devise solutions, but to explore thoughts and conversations that gauge the direction the society is taking. The elections to the Nagaland Legislative Assembly will be conducted soon. This will be one of the most important decisions the people of the state will be taking, not because it is the elections per se, which of course is important in itself, but because this time the electorate will be deciding a political dispensation that has been in place for more than a decade. Hornbill TV got in touch with a number of citizens from the state to have an idea of their mood and expectations. What are they hoping from the candidates and the government that will be formed? On today's episode, convener of Nagaland Baptist Church Council's Clean Election Campaign, Ngullie, entrepreneur Ibti Naropongin, prominent community and youth leader from Kohima, Peter Rutsa, citizen and observer Tushi Jamir, and associate editor of the Morong Express, Moa Jamir, will be interacting with us in this regard. They are engaged in various professional endeavors, each of them accomplished in what they do, and each of them representing an aspiration. One thing binds them together, though. Whom they vote for will also affect their fellow citizens. What are the expectations? What are the areas they need their representatives and the future government to address? Let's find out what they have to say in this regard. First up, we have Ngullie, the convener of the NBCC's Clean Election Campaign. The church's clean election movement continues to represent the aspirations of most well-meaning citizens in Nagaland who believe in the need for a more responsible, principled, and honest electoral system. Hello, Vilo. It's nice to see you again at Hornbill TV. Since our previous meeting on my show earlier, what new things have been there with the NBCC's Clean Election Campaign so far?
Yes, there have been several engagements in various categories. The 25 associations under the NBCC have collaborated with the civil societies and have come up with excellent action plans to curb proxy voting and curtail expenditures in these elections. There are poster and sticker campaigns, flag campaigns, use of media, pamphlets, and theatrical acts done by several associations. Some organizations, villages, and colonies have initiated clean election on their own, taking cognizance of the movement. With intention to reach the student community, we targeted 7 colleges in and around Kohima and Dimapur. So far, we have gone to 4 colleges, sensitizing and interacting with the student community. By 20th February, we hope to reach around 10,000 students.
Right. How effective do you think the message of clean election will work among the electorate this time? What are your expectations from the electorate this time?
We do not expect drastic change, but the positive message of hope and transformation sent out by the clean election movement is strongly felt by the community. Regardless of so many discouraging developments, clean election movement is making positive impact. In the Morong Express poll after 2013 elections, the question goes, has the clean election movement been effective in reducing negative practices in this election? The answer is 62% said yes, 24% said no, 14% chose the other. And yes, I expect them to be honest to themselves. I hope we choose responsible leaders for ourselves and for our state. Our state is in need of responsible leaders who are not only harbingers of development, but also who will represent us wholly in faith, in dignity and ethnicity.
Who, according to you, is a responsible voter besides the idea of his demonstrating integrity and free will?
Regardless of the different positions in our political stand, a responsible voter to me is someone who is looking beyond the present crisis. There are people who envision change in the next 10 years for equality and employment in Nagaland. Another important aspect of defining a responsible voter to me is someone who knows the value of his or her vote, who guards and protects his or her identity at the cost of any threat, bribery and embezzlements.
Besides the attraction to money for all of us, and we all have a passion for money, what are the reasons for which voters most likely fall to monetary favors from political candidates below?
Yes, we all want more money, but money is not everything. I think some of the reasons are economic inequality among our people today is one factor. Therefore, even if we say do not take money, when you are poor, you have no other choice. Lack of strong personal conviction is another reason why people take money. When political agents coming to you with the nicest words, some are obligated to accept whatever they give. Another reason is money gives you power. Both rich and poor, we have certain influence when we have money. For the rich, they can use money to dominate others. For the poor, they can buy things for their needs, which is part of defining our identity and dignity.
Right. What are the issues or areas you feel that the soon-to-be elected Nagaland government should address first?
Some of the priorities of the Nagaland government should be looking for is 1. Unemployment in Nagaland is on the rise. It is therefore pertinent to address this issue. 2. Providing basic necessities such as constant water supply, regulation and stability of electricity, good transportation, roads and public amenities. 3. Taking initiatives in peace education and peace building activities. Because for any development to take place, a peaceful and harmonious environment is required. We need to have peace centers and resource centers in Nagaland. 4. Empowering rural-based vocational engagement and trainings. 5. Provide infrastructural developments like medical institutes, sports academies and promote tourism. 6. Every elected member of the Nagaland Legislative Assembly must make an effort to disallow corruption in the respective given departments. Young people are restless. We need infrastructural developments, recreational centers, vocational engagements and vocational training in various headquarters.
What do you think the electorate should seriously do to ensure they elect candidates and a government that will make the people first, or is there such a thing below?
The electorates must all know that they are the powerhouse to change the society. It is not the availability of schemes and politicians who have the leverage on change. Politicians and government machineries are the resources and tools through whom we can bring development. The electorates must see that the candidates have the vision and mission to bring equality, development and opportunity for all. In some cases, politicians enter into politics to win over their opponents who are pressured by the community backing and village politics. For these candidates, party ideologies, manifestos and the party itself is secondary. Winning is their manifesto. Therefore, the intention to win by hook or by crook comes in the forefront. Another factor is the way candidates spend money for buying votes. Electorates must know that if a candidate is spending money to buy votes, there is 99% chance that there will be no development in that constituency. Who has all the money in the world to spend on buying votes without having any ulterior motives to recoup the money he spent?
Thank you for joining us, Vilo, and for offering us your perspective. Vilo, we'll be having more of similar conversations, especially during the election season. Thank you again. Next, we have Imti Naropongan, who is a Dimapur-based entrepreneur and event planner with Dream Decors, which specializes in wedding decor and events. She has just started building her future. It will be interesting to know what she expects from the elections this time. Hi Naro, thank you for joining Hornbill TV's conversation. What are you expecting from the Nagaland elections this time?
Thank you, Hornbill TV, for having me. Yes, this election I'm expecting for a new government. Itu sao do ini itu sao nagin election do ini government nutun hi aili bhal aro even chief minister bi nutun hoile bhal ase bishi upcoming leaders bhal bishi ase so chance dile bhal ase and then itu nutun government bala aro do gamti tak kro inya corona development aniwo inya expect rese.
Right. What are the issues you consider the most important for which you want the soon-to-be elected government to address?
There are so many to address. Bishes ko holido. Duni goal ase ko holido. Foothill road, Nagaland foothill road to idu complete ko libshi balo. Aro tadi mundile balo. Aro kanishna. There are so many unemployed youths. Likha burai man thagina bi ni buitha na se na to idu khan ki bi government by tarasa kholi dili palo tahan ki bi concern ko dili bishi khushi wo aro backdoor appointments idu nachu lage aro idia central scheme bishi ahe ase amela state ke to government khama bi bisa na khai kina amen public ki punchai dile bishi bawo aro bishi ase ko to bishi ase.
Don't you think that issues that you pointed out just now earlier are traditionally what voters and citizens have been demanding redress for a long time?
Yes, of course. Again, I ki address kushi do ida American citizen can be to he ko ase aro to sa feel to be bishes de demands ase complaints bishes ase. See, so many years it's been so many years from beginning till today same government ase ami hange ki development ani dishe ami sob jani ase mohan aro so many incomplete works ase aro complete whole be man time lo ase enya kurina aro kunba aro nutun bi shuru bi honai to any guy thagina ase any guy mohan complain wala any guy duk paina ase so yes again ami ki address ko share itu ami ana citizen ami do ase enya kuna alag field bi ase.
Great. Now, what according to you should the political candidates do to inspire integrity and truth in voters' behavior?
Yes, the most important thing is candidate to tayo literate ho lage or educated to hobo lage. Kili huli tayo ami hana state he represent kuno kule na hina kali man ami hana state he kam kule sinu tayo bahar gibi jawo to external affairs kan ulawa so itu kan ini tayo of course literate and educated to hobo lage. That's the most important thing. And ya kuna tayo amen public hangi kiman tai promises krishe khali words se kwane na khali khota bai amen ge kwane na actions be kuina dikhao lage thik tak tai kwane na tai promise kwane na itu tai thik fulfill ku do lage amen public hangi be na to itu ase.
Coming back to one of the most crucial age groups that vote in the elections, do you think youths are more vulnerable to accepting monetary appeasements than people from the senior age group, or is it the same for everyone?
Youth bhi hubi, senior bhi hubi. Kunba do ini candidate to capable ase koi gina puisa fani na sai gina hosa thik kam karabe ase. Holi bhi inya nishina manu do ajak power le bishi kom di ase. So I think it's the same, yeah.
Right. Do you have a message for the soon-to-be new government?
Ida American government kun ahule se, then get tam moi message ko mondo. American state development the first priority rakhibo lage. Aro American public duk hado itu debi concern ko do lage. And then most importantly, central sanction puisa ahado, na personal expenses no hina state gane chuo lage itu hese.
Thank you, Naro, for joining us and sharing us your thoughts. Hornbill TV wishes you the best. Hopefully, you'll get what you seek from the new government. See you. Imti Naro Pongan, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we have Peter Rutsa, a regular fixture in the community and youth leadership of Kohima. A mature-headed man, he remains a prominent presence who continues to hold sway in the conversations of the local populace in the capital. Hello, Pete. It's good to see you again, old friend. We haven't met since meeting on the streets of Kohima during the Hornbill Festival years ago. So what new things are electors there in Kohima expecting this time?
Hello, Ngullie. Thank you for choosing me to be a part of Hornbill TV's conversation. In regards to your first question, I have observed in my social interactions that electors in Kohima, as in the rest of the state, are yearning for better financial management and transparency, proper and justified distribution of development funds, quality and timely execution of infrastructure development projects, besides stable and sufficient power supply and access to clean water. Decisive leaders who will tackle traffic congestion, security in running their businesses, and most of all, leaders who are accommodative, reachable, and accessible to the people once in office.
Right. What, according to you, defines a responsible voter besides the idea of demonstrating integrity and free will in their voting?
A responsible voter is one who does not permit personal interests and gains, personal emotions like revenge or anger, to determine to which candidate or political party his or her vote is casted. Someone who votes for candidates and political parties based on their performance, visions, plans, and solutions they have for political, economical, or social issues that confronts them and the people.
In the same vein, do you believe that the type of government in the place reflects the character of the community, the electorate? And if so, how?
I would not say that leaders we elect and send to the state assembly necessarily reflects the character of all the voters of a particular constituency or the dominant community in it. For our society is unique in many ways, and there are multiple, undeniable, and difficult to brush aside factors that come into play when candidates come to the electorates and when the voters go to the ballot. Issues and factors that are absent in many other non-tribal societies. Factors which do not play a role when they go to the ballot to elect their representatives. Nagaland is about to face elections for the 14th time, but we are yet to fully understand and refine the system of electing our political representatives through the vote due to our traditional way of life and realities which exist beyond politics and governance.
What are the issues or areas you feel strongly about and desire that the soon-to-be elected Nagaland government would address, Pete?
Rule of law, better utilization and distribution of development funds, opening the door wider for the participation of women and youth towards building a just society and a respectable, vibrant, self-sustaining economy. Revisit obsolete and impractical legislations like Prohibition Act, provide schemes and create opportunities for entrepreneurs and farmers. Removal of redundant government employees, additional effort in solving the Naga political talks, direct more time and energy towards solving our border disputes and work for building better coordination with our neighboring states economically as well as for people-to-people relationships. Thank you. God bless Nagaland, and God help the citizens of Nagaland in choosing good leaders.
Thank you for your fascinating perspectives, Pete, and for being part of Hornbill TV's conversation. I do believe we will be engaging in more similar conversations later on. Let's meet up one of these days like the old times. Peter Rutsa, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we have a citizen and a careful observer of the realities of being a citizen in a politics-driven society. It is oftentimes that political institutions try to represent the common man's aspirations, yes, but it is also even more often that their aspirations are only occasionally met. Tushi Jamir, a self-employed citizen, has also seen his share of the hard realities. Hey Tushi, it's good to see you here besides being on Facebook. Thank you for being part of our show. What do you think people are expecting from the elections and the government this time?
I think the people are expecting a lot from this election because on paper, the manifestos of the parties, of every party, looks great.
Do you think there will be anything new this time when the new government forms? If yes, what are those? If not, why?
Personally, I don't expect much from the new government. Why? Because if we continue to elect the same representative, what changes can we expect?
Are you convinced by the idea that the people shouldn't complain if they elected a government that failed to fulfill their aspirations?
Yes, we should not complain. Firstly, the mindset of the Naga people need to change and stop selling our vote to the highest bidder. And secondly, we should elect good leaders to lead us so that they can fulfill our aspirations of developing Nagaland as a state and moving ahead in tandem with the other states of India.
What are the core issues affecting the people of Nagaland that you believe that the government should address, Toshi?
With not much expectations from the new government coming in, personally I feel that there are two core issues that need to be addressed by the new government coming in. There should be, firstly, the roads. The entire Nagaland, the roads in entire Nagaland should be developed at the earliest, not only in Dimapur, not only in Kohima, not only in Chumukitima, but it should stretch to every nook and corner of Nagaland. Secondly, we should give top priority to developing the infrastructures of the primary healthcare centers and also completion of the 2 new medical colleges. That should be the top priority.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing us your thoughts with Hornbill TV. Tushi, do you have any message for the candidates and new government that will be instated?
My only message to the incoming representative to represent us would be to stop fooling the Naga public and start walking the talk and work on the promises that you have made during the elections.
Tushi Jamir, ladies and gentlemen, next we have a journalist who has his nose and ears close to the ground now that the elections are on. Moa Jamir is associate editor of the English newspaper, the Morong Express, based in Dimapur. Let's find out what he has to say. Hello Moa, thank you for joining Hornbill TV's conversation. What are the issues or areas you feel the soon-to-be elected Nagaland government should address?
Thank you for the invitation. The list is pretty lengthy. At the outset, no more oppositionless government, please. In my opinion, the solution to the Naga political issue is not dependent on whether there is a oppositionless government or not. Instead, we should more focus on strong and vibrant opposition as well as good governance. Accordingly, the new government should focus more on achieving more tangible tasks such as cutting down huge budget deficits, checking out the high persistent unemployment rate, which is highest among the state, by the way, for the last few years. In fact, last year, according to a government survey, 55% of the youth in 15 to 25 years age group were unemployed in Nagaland. That's a pretty high rate. Access to quality education and healthcare should also be another priority. In education, the dropout rate at high school and secondary school should be checked. And in the area of healthcare, it seems the government is opening more health centers instead of enhancing the present one. So measures should be taken to ensure that specialized doctors are there at the community health centers and other health centers. Also, the State First Medical College must start its session from the next academic session. On road and other infrastructures, basic amenities should be provided both at constituency and state level. In fact, it seems the road construction, the government is more dependent on high court directives rather than doing anything in its own initiative. And road construction should be concentrated not only on the headquarters but in the peripheries as well. I think these are some of the issues that is on the top of my mind right now, and yeah, but the list is pretty long.
Who, according to you, is a responsible voter besides the idea of his demonstrating integrity and free will?
For me, demonstration of integrity and free will are subjective to choices one is presented with. And accordingly, for free and fair election to become a reality in Nagaland, candidates should be able to contest an election without any encumbrance. And the voters should be able to elect a representative based on issues, ideology, and not other monetary or other consideration.
Besides the love for money, of course, everyone loves money, all of us do. But what are the reasons voters would most likely fall to monetary favors from political candidates? What do you think?
The reason could be many, but to put it bluntly, the state of affairs is such that the voters are compelled, quote unquote, to fall for monetary and other forms of favors from political candidates. However, when you presume that the votes that you're making is not going to affect anything on how government does or how government undertake activities, then presumably you'll always look for some quick momentary fixes. So until and unless the governance, accountability and transparency are there, voters will always look forward for such favor, I guess.
Has the media in Nagaland failed in offering a safe, free and credible platform to well-meaning citizens to express their concerns and help in promoting accountability, transparency and law?
Yes, according to me. However, I feel that Nagaland is yet to see a genuine mass-based civil society organization promoting and checking accountability, transparency and rule of law. We have numerous interest and pressure groups, but unfortunately most of those are co-opted by the government or power that be and maintain a very deafening silence on many issues. We are also, I think, little insecure. So we are more concerned about what other outside medias or what outsider think or write about us rather than looking inwardly. So we are more interested in, I think, human interest stories or topical sensitive issues. That's all I have to say.
Right. What do you think the Naga community should seriously do to ensure they elect candidates and a government that will make the people first? Or is there such a thing, Ma?
I sincerely hope so. However, to do so, we must let go of insecurity of various kinds, which is better said than done. This involves good governance, accountability, delivery of justice, and ensuring that a legislature or the government represent the whole constituency or the whole state, not just a single village, a range, a community, or the ruling party. Again, economic empowerment is another key to overcome this insecurity and ensure that future elections in Nagaland are fought based on issues, capabilities, and educational ideological stance rather than any other monetary or other consideration.
Thank you for sharing us your perspectives, Ma, and for joining Hornbill TV as we continue to be a platform for relevant conversations and issues that affect the people and society. Peter Rutsa, Imtinaro Pongen, Tushi Jamir Vilonalio, and Ma Jamir. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard them, and in them, I believe that you have also heard a little about yourself in one way or the other. We do not know what kind of representatives or what kind of a Nagaland government we will get after the elections. But one thing we know for sure is this: we will get only the kind of government we deserve. I'm Ngullie. See you next time.